Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the May 7th Spiritual Principle a Day in a meditation. The title of the meditation, Powerlessness and the Second Step. By admitting our own powerlessness, we open our minds to an entirely new ideal, the possibility that something greater than ourselves might be powerful enough to relieve our obsession to use drugs. That comes from It Works, Step 2. Our literature describes how the second step helps us to fill the gap created when we admit our powerlessness in step one. If we are powerless over our disease, what can we do about it? For many of us, simply seeing there are other addicts like us who have lost the desire to use is enough to open our minds to the possibility that something might be able to help us too, even if we don't know what that something might be. The catch to accepting help from a power greater than ourselves is that we have to stop exerting our own power first. Practicing powerlessness over our disease means that we stop trying to manage and control it. So many of us have shared about trying to limit our using, hiding our stash from ourselves, using only certain substances or on certain days of the week, and maybe other ways of trying to be clever or tricky enough to outsmart our addiction. If anyone had success with those types of tricks, they're probably not NA members yet. That's the way it is with addiction. If we try to overpower our or outmaneuver our disease, let me repeat that. If we try to overpower or outmaneuver our disease, we're bound to fail. It might not even happen right away, but eventually we find ourselves surrounded by unmanageability, wondering what happened to our well laid plans. Rather than exerting great control over ourselves to behave in a highly predictable and consistent manner, we let go of the illusion of control and open ourselves to a power from elsewhere. Unlimited examples of experience, strength, and hope are available to us when we share with other addicts in recovery. Rather than trying to go it alone, I will rely on a power greater than myself. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. That prayer today just hit me in a different way, talking about the wisdom to know the difference. When a person possesses wisdom to know the difference about what they can change and what they can't change, and they move forward and take the steps to change the things that they can. Step two is a natural. It is a natural step that follows admitting our powerlessness. I would say that step two actually allows an individual to say, you know what? I've been acting insanely. I've been doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I'm going to change. Listen to me. I'm going to change the things that I can, just like that serenity prayer that I utter almost every day. I'm going to change the things that I can. So, what does that have to do with we came to believe that we could be restored to sanity, right? We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. That's really what we want to focus on, that we have a power greater than ourselves, right? That can restore us to sanity. However, the point is, only you can decide. Only you can change that. You are the only person that is able to say, I believe that I can be restored to sanity. I believe that there's a power greater than myself that can do that. And I'm done. I'm done being the master of the disease of addiction. That's something you can change. When you talk about the serenity prayer and step two, they just go together. It's natural. Because if it wasn't, maybe I would have to say you're not an addict. I'm not an addict then, right? When I utter the serenity prayer, and I believe that step two is a part of my life, I worry a lot less because I trust my decision. I trust my decision to allow my higher power to restore me to what? Sanity. A lot of times we were out there. We thought that we could help ourselves. We could trick ourselves into using less by placing our stashes in inconceivable, unconceivable places that we just know we'll forget to even look or it'll be safe there. We've all done that. Can't tell you how many times I've tried to make my drug of choice go slower, right? So this second paragraph is relevant. It's relevant because it's giving you a sneak peek at how you used to be and how unsuccessful you were in managing your disease of addiction. Some people have a problem with that. They get an attitude. What? Me unmanageable? Step two, me insane? Child, please. That's not me. But oh, it is. It's all of us. The ways that it manifests itself are different. I grant you that. But this applies to all of us because that powerlessness, if I'm in step one and I admit that I'm powerless over the disease of addiction, right? What do I do next? What do I do next? Yeah, that's why it shares with us that step two helps us to fill that gap. You've got to get to step three. That's what we're trying to do, right? Well, we're trying to get through all of them, have a spiritual awakening. But it's in step three where you start to see that you're actually applying the spiritual principles of the steps of one and two, because in three, you turn your will over to the care of God, right? As you understand Him. You're trying to get to step three and skip straight through step two, not realizing whether or not you've come to believe that you could be restored to sanity. And you know how you know? Just think about your step 10. That's how you know. That's how you know. What does it have to do with any of this? Step 10 is a daily inventory, right? If there's a whole lot of mess on your daily inventory and you owe a whole lot of prompt amends, this process of powerlessness, this this process of believing that we could be restored to sanity is questionable if we have truly surrendered. I'm not saying that doing step two and step one and two means that you won't stop acting, that you will stop acting out. I'm not implying that because generally speaking, the newcomer is not going to stop acting out. until they feel the pain in other areas. But I'm just saying that there's tattletale signs of whether or not you've had a thorough working of step two. And if you're still finding yourself in messy situations with the people in and out of the rooms, you just might be saying that you can be restored to sanity, that you believe you can, but you may not actually have a deep knowing, right? That you can, because you're continuing to use your own power, exert your own power. You know, this meditation is, I don't know, it's probably, I'm not going to call it a 5-star, right? Because I've actually tried to tape it 5 times already. But this meditation is one of those things that if I think about it and how it impacts my day, this particular meditation has been so difficult to tape that, you know, my mind said, just upload last year's because this is too much. However, the way it has stirred my spirit to go ahead and look at my step one, look at my powerlessness, look at my belief that I could be restored to sanity, that a power greater than myself could do that. Take a look at that and allow it to be the sifter, right? Of how well you've actually embraced this. I'm telling you, if I'm having a lot of messy situations, I'm still some kind of way trying to exert power instead of giving it over and believing that I can personally be restored to sanity. So although I believe it's horribly written because of it has tons of run-on sentences, we're living in an era where people don't mind that. I'm old school, right? If I had given in to my irritation with this meditation, I wouldn't be able to have this epiphany today to use step one and step two, to use the spiritual principles of them to help me figure out how I'm doing from day to day. Yeah, the daily inventory is something else. Yeah, but we got to get there. We got to put one step, one foot in front of the other. Listen, family, I am amazed that I have gone this long with this particular meditation. But you know what? You know what pulls me, my energy into the meditations? You, you, you do. It pulls me into actually doing it and loading it up. It takes time to do that. It takes time. But you pull me into that. You pull me further into wanting to be of service. So thank you. I couldn't do this without you. I want to thank you for that because I truly do mean that. Well, you know, I probably could do it without you, but the outcome would not be as sweet as it is. And I don't want to do this without you. Let me say that. I just don't. Now, listen, I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to have an awesome day. I'm going to have a superbulous day. I'm going to have a magnificent day. How about you? I want for you to have the most wonderful day on purpose. Leave some comments down below. Be sure to like and share. right? I'm trying to get our community to the next level where they release some benefits and we will be able to do some things in a more interactive type atmosphere. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking. Take care. I will be talking to you tomorrow.